Hi friends, welcome back to Voice Magic. And this is a place where we explore the tuning of body and mind. So for today, I wanted to bring you 4 ways to make our lives more musical. The first way is to orient ourselves towards harmony and dissonance more than good and bad. Especially when we are relating to our own experience, how we talk to ourselves, how we might judge ourselves, and also how we relate to things in our environment. Because the labels good and bad are extremely limiting. And to be honest, they're many times not accurate. There's so much that falls in other parts of that scale. And we have grown up in moralistic cultures, oftentimes, saying that, if you're good, good things happen. If you're bad, bad things happen. And I think early on we realized that that's not quite true. So I find the open, space of harmony and dissonance and embracing both in my life so much more beneficial to be able to move without resistance. There's, of course, so many things that produce harmony in our lives, and we often feel that in an embodied way. It's no secret. We know what feels harmonious, people that bring that out, situations that bring that out. And we also know what feels dissonant. But dissonance can also have an effect. It can be an activator. It's necessary in music to bring in new levels or layers of harmony. It moves energy. It can be uncomfortable. It can awaken different parts of our psyche and our life. So there's a place for dissonance. And I think we're much more likely to be open to it if we don't feel that it's this wall of resistance that we often get with a word like bad. So, invitation, explore what it might be to think of things in terms of harmony and dissonance for a day or two and see if that activates something new in your experience. So the second way is using the power of resonance. Now, resonance is the amplification of a frequency or vibration. And wherever we place our attention and awareness, we feed energy, right? So that amplifies, that grows larger and expands to an extent. And with sound, so if we're using our voice, let's say we're placing our attention very consciously when we're speaking, when we're toning, when we're directing sounds, either inwardly, outwardly, even when we're listening to music, sound has a quality that organizes matter. And I'm going to say even the invisible realms. Now, there's a whole science that studies this, and it's called cymatics. It is incredible, so I do recommend that you check that out. But knowing this, we can really begin to work with resonance beyond an abstract idea, but actually understanding that it's bringing in coherence and geometric organization to our bodies, to our minds, to our environments. And so we can enhance well-being. We can definitely drop into deeper presence simply by paying attention to resonance. Way number 3 is finding your own rhythms. I love this one because I think there's a lot more freedom than we realize to have our own rhythms in our lives. We don't necessarily have to follow the rhythms of other people, of society. Our own cycles and seasons for things will show us where our energy can be used in our own benefit. And I mean, nature does this, right? There are rhythms, seasons, cycles, and though they might repeat, they're not always the same. It's not the exact rhythm that it was, maybe last month or last year. And so I don't know why we sometimes expect ourselves to have this kind of repetitive rhythm, when actually, if you think in terms of music, there's a variety of styles of rhythms, and even within one song, the ability to have syncopation and pauses and silence and stretching out parts of the rhythm is what gives it the diversity, the richness, the magic, and what actually makes it feel oftentimes so deeply resonant with us. Because I think our bodies recognize that intelligence. There's a lot of rhythm in our body, and I'm pretty sure if we listen in, no two bodies sound the same. So finding your own rhythm for what works for you in your life opens many doors of potential that you may have not considered before. So follow that rhythm, explore what it means for you, and then, play with it, check it out, and see what can you create within the rhythm of you. And last, but definitely not least, sing. And when I say sing, I mean sing with your messy wholeness. Not necessarily kind of just singing, from the throat in the shower, pretending to be an artist. That's great. But we've already talked about harmony and dissonance and not requiring perfection and allowing ourselves to explore resonance and our own rhythms. So why not bring all of that to singing or toning if you don't necessarily want to sing, but just really finding the way to bring that power of the vibration from within and amplify that, explore that, let that be this beautiful ecosystem that you build around yourself. So singing from your messy wholeness is body-mind union at its finest. We are very varied, and we have so many textures and so many tonalities. We want to be able to modulate between those. And I do think that that makes our lives much richer than if we're trying to follow a specific pattern of song or singing. So let that voice shine. Sing. It has a lot of physical benefits as well. It definitely brings in regulation to the nervous system, which is why we tend to feel very good when we sing, and also when we sing with others. These are my 4 ways of living a more musical life. They are exploratory and improvisational, so have fun with them. And I'm so happy to have you here, following along with more voice magic content as we go.